In this section, I'm going to tell you about the Brit Ahuvim. The Jewish wedding has two parts to it. Each part takes place over a cup of wine. We make kiddush twice. The first cup of wine is known as the Brit Ahuvim, or the Lover's Covenant. And this is a feminist innovation on the concept of kiddushin. Kiddushin comes from the word kadosh, which means to make separate or holy or sacred. And it came from the idea that the couple in getting married were actually separate from everyone else and sacred to each other. The model of kiddushin was a model of acquisition in which one partner was acquiring the other partner. At Kol Tzedek, the Jewish wedding ceremonies that we officiate largely are in the tradition of the Brit Ahuvim, which was created by Rachel Adler in her book Engendering Judaism. And we actually have created a PDF of the chapter from her book, and it's in the wedding resources folder. And we really encourage you to read it in addition to watching this section so that you can get a sense of the origins of the ritual that you are going to enact. What's really unique is that what Rachel Adler did is she said that rather than acquiring each other as partners, we want to acquire the partnership itself. And she did so by borrowing an ancient tradition of business acquisition in which business partners would each take something of value and put them into a shared vessel or a pouch and lift that up as if to say everything we have is now shared. And in enacting the Brit Ahuvim, this lover's covenant, we have reclaimed the practice of the Jewish wedding and made it one of feminist and egalitarian and reciprocity and mutuality. The couples can choose what it is that they put into the vessel or the pouch. You could each place a ring, as is classical. You could follow the tradition of the Mishnah and you could place an object of value. When asked, it gives an example. It says to place some dates, as in the fruit of the palm tree. So we have here some date cookies you could place into there to say, this impermanent, ephemeral, delicious fruit is of value to us and we now share it. One special tradition would be to place the cloth and the bayit of a mezuzah into the vessel itself, as if to say our home is the shared entity into which we enter into in this partnership. So you can decide what you put in the vessel, but the first act would be to lift the vessel and in that way to enter into the partnership. In that moment, you can then choose to recite the blessing that's said over seeing a rainbow, which is the first covenant that we have in Torah and has like wonderful queer vibes to it, to say that actually the same thing we say over a rainbow we said under our chuppah, which is that faith is everlasting and this covenant is what endures, which was the Holy One's promise to us after the flood. In addition to having a cup of wine, if you choose to place rings into the pouch, you can then remove the rings and exchange them. And in that moment, you could either decide to just have the rings be sort of a silent exchange, or you could pick up on an ancient declaration. You could say the line from the Song of Songs, Ani ledodi v'dodi li, I am my beloved is mine. You could say a formula that we have been innovating for the last decade or so. I enter into this sacred covenant according to the practice of Jewish tradition. And there's some language for that you'll find also in our folder. Or you could decide something new that you want to say together, some way that you want to sort of affirm each other. There isn't really vows in a Jewish wedding, and this maybe is the closest we come to it because it's the moment in which you actually speak directly to each other. There's the written words of the ketubah, but this is sort of the lone moment in which you have an opportunity to speak if you so choose to take it. The other benefit of a Brit Ahuvim is that it nullifies the need for a get, which is controversial in the Orthodox community and in the state of Israel. You can still dissolve a Brit Ahuvim, but all of the complicated rules surrounding the dissolution of a ketubah are avoided by not actually creating a formal ketubah, but instead doing this practice of Brit Ahuvim. And that is for those for whom that's relevant and meaningful and makes any amount of sense. This is a nice workaround.